Almost 1 o'clock.
Hmm.
Just the two of us today.
We're done.
Later.
Just the two.
Go for it. I'm co-host.
Oh, okay, it's me. Okay, I thought it was
No,
co-host.
Carly's the host.
Co-host.
I'm co-host.
Okay, so we got a bunch of people here. We hope we got a bunch of people at home there. Has anybody noticed a change in the marketplace in the last 3 or 4 days?
Yes.
Right? Yes, yes. So they started to feel a little bit better, started to feel a little bit stronger. The market seems to be a little bit I don't know.
I've noticed it's kind of not
I'm looking at
softened.
Nelson. Do you think it's no?
I think it's kind of softened.
Sorry?
I feel a little softened. Like I feel like it's busier, but I feel like there might be more
A little
inventory.
bit soft this weekend too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the nice weather finally. We had rain. It was gray for 3-4 days and then the sun popped out
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon and yesterday, but it was soft.
Anybody do any open houses on the weekend? Anybody here do open houses? I know lots of people did open houses. Anybody here do an open house?
I had Michelle.
Fairburn and Tashia.
We had 7 people on Saturday,
7 on Saturday and
12 yesterday.
12 yesterday. Where's the property?
Young and Eglinton.
Young and Eglinton condo? No house.
Stacked up.
Stacked townhouse. Okay, that's
And
too
not
bad.
brand new.
No, but we're really desperate if anyone wants to buy us.
Motivated
We're
sellers.
very motivated. We will take a price drop, whatever.
Interesting.
What's the list price on that one?
We're at 859
859?
for 920 square feet.
859 for 900 square feet at Young and Eglinton?
Yeah.
Townhouse.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Condo town.
What are the maintenance fees?
7.
7, so it's all within line too, right? So why would somebody buy a $900,000 condo down? Like a high rise rather than that?
Okay, so I'm gonna say what's kind of killing me right now is that we have a lot of stairs there.
Stairs?
Even though it is
Is it
900
an upper
square feet,
unit?
I would
So
say
it's 900 square feet, but 300 are stairs?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Is it one of the ones that's like goes above
Yeah,
the
it
lower
has like a
level?
rooftop terrace. It's like Abby's, like rooftop
Oh, okay,
terrace.
all right. Urban towns, okay.
Yeah,
Which typically sell for more than the lower level.
Mm.
I know, but the lower level one actually sold before we did.
Good to know.
People said that they would rather
That
have.
seems to be the flavor right now. Is anybody, what do you guys think about urban towns? You got like 2-bedroom unit on the top and the roof and the terrace on top, like the rooftop, and then you got 2 bedrooms at the bottom and the
Like one
second
level.
unit, you've got like two flights of stairs get up there.
Terrible.
Seems to be like that's very common. That seems to be like the flavor right now. A lot of builders are building those places.
It's so bad though. They're like living in a basement apartment. There's no insulation between any of the units.
Is that right?
No, nothing in that house.
Oh, boy. Samir, you did an open house?
No, I didn't actually do one, but I went through a whole bunch of Marco,
Okay, good.
and it was pretty consistent. All the agents were complaining about how slow it was.
How slow it was?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's because you think Saturday because the weather was so bad on Saturday or
This was yesterday.
yesterday the weather was nice. Maybe because the weather was too nice yesterday.
I know in Ajax there was a property that sold for 1.25 just 2 weeks ago, and the exact same house came on the market, or same model, just a street over came up, and they were holding offers last week, and they didn't get any. So it was like very interesting that just a couple weeks before that, for the same house, there was a competition for it with 6 offers, and then the next week the neighbor got nothing. So I'm noticing that's in the 1.2 range. Maybe the under a mill is doing okay. Maybe.
Yeah, don't know.
We just went through today on Whitby, under mill. Only 2 offers, especially in the other.
Yeah,
Hmm.
just like less.
Second, not far, 14.
Interesting. What was the
What's that?
difference in the house? Was it fully renovated?
Ours, we just went for the one I told you about.
Yeah.
On, Calais, Port Calais. Went for today.
Did they do any price reduction?
No, we're gonna remediate. I'm gonna go hold back.
Did one not show up on Realm, but showed up on Stress?
So did anybody compete? Did anybody have any buyers that are competing in multiple offer situations last week? Nothing going on here? No. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's not competing. No. I've got the stats here, but we've got a little bit of a controversy going on with Treb and as far as their active listings go. Can anybody tell me how many active listings there are as of like, let's say the end of the month, beginning of the month? Anybody track that? I track it, but anybody else?
How many was at the beginning of this one?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it was like 15.
13,000.
16,000.
16?
How many is today? How many active listings today? Just approximately. There's like 16,000 active listings. Okay, so at the end of the month, my numbers came in about 15,000. But if you check the Toronto Real Estate Board and the Market Watch, they come in with 12,000. And so we asked them, what's the difference between like the 12,000 and 15,000? They said, we don't know.
That's sketchy.
So we're looking into that. So if I look at today, there's over 16,000 active listings right now. But if I ask Trev, they're saying there's like 13,000. So there's a disconnect. I don't know whether it's parking lots or vacants, or I don't know. I can't figure it out yet. I figured out if you take out all Durham out, then you're back to 12,000. So it's weird. But anyways, we'll try to find that out. Anyway, so carry on. Okay, so anybody think that the interest rate last week announcement, did that do anything for anybody? Did that maybe slow people down? Anybody have any buyers that say they want to wait for the interest rates to come down and the interest rates did not come down? Did that affect anything? Because they came in their announcements on what? They said they're going to keep it at 5%, right? Was that good news or bad news?
Okay.
Okay,
It was expected.
is
Neutral?
expected, or but I'm not. I'm talking to a lot of people saying they're waiting for rates to come down. So is it expected or is it?
Well, I think the last announcement, nobody expected anything to happen. I think everybody's got their sights for June. Now, I think people.
I've read June. I've got Varan here now too. So June is the number I've heard now, and they're talking about maybe a quarter point. That's what I'm hearing, right? Tomorrow, if everybody wants to keep track of that, the CPI announcement is tomorrow. The 16th, tomorrow the 16th, yeah. And it came in at 2.8 for February, which is good because it was I think it was 3.1 for the month before that. So February was what, 2.8, and they're gonna do another announcement tomorrow. Hopefully that's gonna come down as well. And I'll talk a little bit about that. The other thing going on tomorrow is the federals come up with their federal budget tomorrow. And they've been throwing out some little samples here and there. If you guys have been paying attention to what they're talking about, used to be in the old days, when it came to federal budgets, nobody spoke about budgets. Nobody could talk about budgets. Everybody had to be closed doors, and they had to announce it that day, what's going on with the budget. But nowadays, they seem to be giving out little teasers here and there. So I'm not sure whether they're going to be just teasing us and come up with something more special, or I don't know what they're doing. But I'll get more details about that. Eid finished last week. Last Wednesday, we finished Eid. And happy Eid to everybody here. And I've looked at a bunch of Instagram photographs and all people celebrating. So it's quite the event for a lot of folks. So that was a nice thing. I do experience maybe about a 10% slowdown in the market during Ramadan. So that's over now. So there's no excuses for that. So we'll see what's going on with that number. Last Wednesday we also had our event there with Moise. So you'll touch on that later on.
Yeah. Is Mo
Okay,
here?
So we'll go on that. And also next Monday, before we forget, we won't be here on Monday. We'll be at Awards, which is Parkview at Parkview Manor, I guess it's called, at Don Mills in Eglinton area, just north of that area. So we're hopefully everybody will be able to come to that. If you're new to awards, just because you're brand new doesn't mean that you shouldn't come. You should come. Just because you didn't get an award, you should come just to see what other people out there and support people. It's more of a fun thing. It's even though it's awards, we try to make everybody inclusive. So that's the idea there, and that's a nice little lunch and something to get away and celebrate. And that's the purpose of it.
I think Ginny asked if you're coming, please reserve a seat so we can make sure you get fed and you have a chair. So I think we're asking tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's the deadline to RSVP, so please tell Ginny today if you're coming. Email her so we can track it.
RSP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bank of Canada held their rate at 5%. So signals that June cut are within the realm of possibility. So this is what the Bank of Canada is actually saying, so their own words, right? And they're expecting 25 basis points in June, and they're also looking at the CPI. They're thinking that they're trying to lower the percentage of the CPI by 0.2%, says here, but I think they're trying to do more than that. But hopefully that'll come around. The federal government is talking about sweeping plans, so they're spending lots of money, throwing lots of money at things. So I've got Varan here too. You can answer a question that Nelson and I had. One of the things that the government's talking about is increasing the RSP for first-time buyers from $35,000 to $60,000. So that means a couple then would be able to maybe contribute $120,000 maximum towards the purchase of a house. They've changed a couple things there, and Nelson sort of brought that to my point. But when you take it's called a house buyers program, HBP. What way it did it before, the $35,000, you could put $35,000 into your RSP, and you can take that money out and use it for a purchase on a first-time buyer program. First-time buyer for this particular program for RSPs is, I want to say it's permanent, or can it be reestablished after 5 years? Okay, yeah. So if you not own a house for the previous 5 years, you can requalify as a first-time buyers for that particular program. In contrast, first-time buyers for the land transfer tax, it's a one-time thing. You can't requalify. Once you've owned a house anywhere in the world, at least once, you do not qualify for the first-time home buyers credit again. But HBP, RSPs, you can requalify if you don't own a home for 5 years. Okay. And then on the old program, you had to pay back that $35,000 over 15 years. And you didn't have to make the first payment until year 2. On this program here, you still have to pay it back in 15 years, but you don't have to make your first payment until year 5. So you've got 5 years of free money. So I just ran some numbers here, and this is the question for Rand. So I just ran some numbers. If you took $60,000 and paid it over 15 years, so if you take $60,000 divided by 15, it's $4,000. Divide that by 12 months, it's $330 a month. So that's what they have to repay when they do repay. How much do you think a $60,000 mortgage costs at 5%? $333. So it's the same cost. So I'm trying to figure out. This is the question for Rand. If I'm paying back 1/15 of that HP thing, is that debt included in my TDS?
If you take it as a loan.
No. If I have money sitting in RSP or an RSP, and I take that money out and I'd use it for a first-time buyer when I'm buying a property, now I'm qualifying for the mortgage.
It's not.
It's not. Okay. So that's the advantage.
But if someone take out a loan.
You're taking an RSP, but it's almost like an RSP loan, isn't it? Like you're taking
Technically,
60,000 and you have to pay it back over 15 years. It still costs you $300 a month, which is an expense. I'm just curious whether or not they include that part of the calculation.
It's a tax debt. It's not actual.
It depends.
It's not actual payment you are making. It's on a tax return you are claiming as an income.
Yeah. So then your income drops. Right. So
Your income increase.
correct. So is your debt, I guess, right? So what Pranav here is saying, this is true. You can actually write a check for 1/15, or if you don't write the check, they're going to add 1/15 to your income anyways. So that's what you're talking about, right? Anybody okay with that? Anyway, so it's good news anyway. So it's new construction too.
That's a 30 amortization.
Yeah.
No,
that's the
no,
other
no,
thing.
I'll touch on that one a little bit. So we're talking about the RSPs right now. Everybody okay with that? So that's good news. If tomorrow's budget includes this, that's what they're suggesting. Also, what they want to do is they want to change people that your current clients. This is important for you. It's two things. Anybody read on the newspapers how everybody's complaining how they got the $4,000 bill from the government because they didn't tell the city that the property was occupied? Wasn't it like 160,000 people or something, or 60,000 people said that they didn't know? We told you folks, right? These people didn't have realtors because you guys told all your clients, by the way, don't forget to check your tax bill. You have to pay this, you have to make this declaration, right? You would have told all your clients, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
I say that sarcastically because I had an agent come to me last week saying, what's this? And I'm thinking, you're an agent. Oh my gosh. Right? So be careful, right?
Yeah, give me your license.
So on the mortgage side, so they're going to allow people that are in need. Let's say they can't make their mortgage payments right now. They're having a hard time making the mortgage payments. They're going to allow those people to redo their mortgage at a 35-year amortization rather than 25. That's existing people. So going back to my first point, hopefully you're talking to your clients. These are options that are available to your clients. If your client bought something and they're having a hard time making payments, these are things that can be done. All right. So I want you to be able to have those conversations with the people. with your clients. Also, as of August the 1st, they're going to propose that the first-time buyers who purchase newly constructed homes would qualify for, rather than they'll be able to qualify using a 30-year amortization buying a brand new house. Okay, rather than 25. So the criticism I have here is it's not helping resell agents resell homes because it doesn't really, there's nothing in it for us, nothing in it for our clients. So as far as I'm concerned, the budget gets a thumbs down. But maybe it'll surprise us tomorrow. Maybe it's it's one of these situations where it's $1,000, but you sign up today, it's $800. So maybe they're just throwing this out to get us all riled up, and then tomorrow's budget, they're gonna say, oh, by the way, it's for everybody. And we're getting that. So there's a bit of politics going on there too. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't make it 35 years for everybody. Why is it just new homes?
Because we're struggling probably the most right now.
I'm not building this size.
They're not building
Nobody
fast.
wants- yeah.
They're not building homes fast enough. I can see what's going on there. Justin Trudeau launches sweeping plan to help solve Canada's housing prices. I'm just going to be paraphrasing here. They're talking about freeing up some federal land so that people can lease this land from the federal government to build houses, and then low income houses, and sell the houses to the individuals, but they won't own the land. The land will be leased. Now, they did this in Melbourne. For those people have been around a long time, Melbourne and Brampton, they had these leased lands, but it was a lease, so that the guy that buying it paid like $2,000 a month for this lease, and after 30 years, he owned the land because he paid the lease over land. This proposal here, no, it's always owned by the federal government. It's a lease forever.
Is it 99?
No, it doesn't sound like. It sounds like they're just taking federal land and leasing it out. So I don't think there's going to be an opportunity for the people to actually buy the land, but it's going to knock off. The price is going to drop 30% easy because they're not buying the land. And if you're not buying the land, you're not paying a land transfer tax either. So there's going to be a bunch of savings. So that's not a bad thing, right? I don't know how they're going to be able to help everybody with that, but there it is. They want to build 3.9 million homes by 2031. That's only 6-7 years from now. They want to build 3.9 million homes. Darn. How are they going to do that? Spend money. They've got $6 billion targeted for infrastructure. That's one problem there. I know that Markham had a problem years ago. They couldn't build houses because they didn't have sewers. Wasn't matter they didn't have land, didn't have place to build or buyers, just there's no place for the water to go. So they had to do that big ditch. Remember that big ditch they built from Markham right through to Pickering? We all have short memories, right? This ditch they built was something like a 2-meter or 3-meter diameter pipe that went from Markham all the way down to Duffins Creek sewage plant. So that's what they had to do. Now they did that. Now they can start building up in different areas. That's what they're going to do. They're going to give low interest loans up to $40,000 for homeowners that want to build secondary units in their houses. So if you got somebody that wants to build a basement apartment and they don't have any money, then the federal government's going to give them a $40,000 low interest loan to do that secondary unit. And the cities themselves are being told that they want secondary units, they want fourplexes, so there should be less restrictions on building basement apartments. That's what they're talking about. Good. Questions? Okay, so let's just go into stats so far. So the stats for April 14th, we've got 16,942 active listings, almost 17,000. According to my stats, according to Treb, who knows? Of the 16,000, let's say 17,000, there's 8,000 are condos, 9,000 are freeholds. So that's a little bit different. The freeholds are starting to pick up a little bit. Of the 17,000 properties that are listed for sale, there's 8,000 of those are owner occupied. Going back to what I talked about before, where a lot of people have bought these properties, they're investors and they're selling the properties. They're either vacant or tenanted, these properties being sold. So again, if you've got clients that bought in the last 3 or 4 years as investment properties, anybody have any investors? Who's got investors that bought? You might want to have a conversation with them because the cash flow is not as they would hope it to be, and they're paying more in their mortgages than they thought they would. So maybe the situation's changed. And as we said here, 50% of the listings are not owner occupied. Sales right now for the first 14 days is actually down 6%. So, right. So it seems to have backed off a little bit. 3,100 sales for the first 14 days this year. Last year's 3,300. Condos are down 8%, and freeholds are also down about 5%. Properties that sold for over 101%. We get the questions here. Do we price low or price high? Anybody, what do we tell everybody to do now?
Price low.
Depends on the situation, the price range. What if it's what if it's $2.7 million? Price low or price up? Right? So I think you're gonna price low if it's less than $1 million. If it's somewhere between $1 million and $1.5 million, $2 million, that's you gotta double think. It's not an automatic low price and wait for offers. You gotta think about the particular property. But of the properties that did sell for 101% or more, 11% of condos, 70% overall, and 21% of freehold properties sold for over asking. So the strategy's still there, but it's out there. Active leases, this confused me last week, and it confused me again this week too. We've got about 13,000 active leases. 8,000 are condos, 4,000 are freeholds. On the leases right now, you guys tell me, is the lease market going up or down as we speak today? It's going down? Because the numbers here tell me otherwise. So if I look at condominium leases for the first 14 days of this year versus last year are up 33%. So like it's number, right? So and it confused me last week. Last week it was up like 49%. So this week's only up 33%. But we leased about 2,900 this year, 2,200 last year. Freeholds are up 4% and condos up 33%. So the market seems to be okay, but prices, I bet, are coming down. Right? Prices are definitely softening, but there's definitely volume. So what's going on here? I think that people can't afford to buy, so they're renting. And I think there must be lots of inventory coming to the market, and that's why they're not getting the rent that they want. So you gotta again look at the market and see what's there. Look at the stats. In case anybody wants to be, if you got a client, anybody have any listings that aren't selling? No?
Just Santa.
Real estate sees the lowest sales in March since 2009. Not prices, but units, right? At the same time, though, Toronto house prices are up and expected to rise by year end. A lot of people were thinking that the market's going to go down, but a lot of people are talking about prices to be increased about 5 or 6% this year. I can see that. That's nothing's going to hurt you. These newspapers I love you. Block TO. Everybody have you guys even bother? Does anybody even read Block TO over here? No?
Just for fun.
Blog TO, I should say. It's a real NDP type newspaper there. They're playing this here saying this house here was bought and quickly relisted for over $200,000 more than what they sold it for. The property near Dawes, actually on Dawes, sold for December 23, sold for $912,000. This is at Dawes Road at 487 Dawes. And then just sold on April, just sold a couple of weeks ago for 1.118.
Did they do anything to it?
Nothing.
Nice.
So somebody either listed it low and didn't sell a property, or somebody saw an opportunity, bought it, and then they flipped it. So there are deals out there. There are things to happen, right? I didn't check the listing agent, but I think it was one of those save backs guys or something. I don't know.
First go around,
The first go around.
one of the private sales.
You definitely saved.
No, it's MLS. I'm just kidding. I don't know. No, it's all listed, but nothing showed up. So there are deals out there still. You just have to be able to find them, right?
Yeah, for sale.
For sale by owners. Lots of them out there. Everybody's seen those property guys? Property guys are funny too. Property guys are for sale by owners, just so you know. So if you want to think where to find fair sale by owners, there's one option there. But they're putting these signs all over, like you and I, you can't put a sign anywhere. You can't put a sign in the middle of a boulevard and say, whatever, hire me, right? But these guys seem to think they can do it. They stick the signs all over the place. I'm thinking, how do they get away with that? Is it just me? I don't know. Just a commentary. Ontario's also changing some of their stuff. Their budget. Building homes faster at lower cost. We're prioritizing infrastructure. One thing that somebody wants to know is the federal or provincial. They want to have these pre-designed houses. Anybody remember reading that? They want to have like a prefab. They want to have these pre-designed houses. And the idea is that they go to the city and say, we want to build this pre-designed house, and all the city has to do is approve the lot. They don't have to approve the structure because it's already been approved by somebody higher. So it's this cookie cutter house that gets put on this lot. So they're saying it should save time and money because they can maybe build this house in the factory, but they can also worry about the zoning and the building bylaws, things like that. Should be able to speed that up. So that's one of the things that they're thinking about. They want to be able to build rather than 12-story, they want to be able to build 18-story wooden or timber construction. Everybody familiar with that? They built one at Shepherd and Markham Road. It's a 4 or 5-story apartment building completely built from wood, no steel, no concrete.
What? Price?
Environmental. They don't have to build concrete. It's all environmental stuff. Should be cheaper.
Although they're also very poorly noise insulated too.
Yeah.
Somebody lived in one at Kennedy and St. Clair.
So they're not
complaining, just having a conversation like.
So the noise goes all through the place. And then they don't want to build, and part of this 3.9 million, by the way, 3.9 that they want to build, a lot of that has to do with student housing. So they count student housing as being one unit. So, fixed rate mortgages.
Right.
Yes. Looking at Brand here. This article Hill tells me, and you can tell me what's truth or not. They're saying that people are now choosing the 3-year fixed mortgages versus a variable rate mortgage. And that seems to be the flavor right now. They're also saying that like 45% of all 3-year mortgages, quotes for 3-year fixed term mortgages are up 45%. I'm not sure on what percentages, but what do you think? 3-year?
Definitely people are choosing 3 years probably a year ago. Now more clients are choosing the variable, hoping there's a rate cut. It's changed over the last.
So this is what I get. So I'm reading this newspaper that was April 11th. It even changes over the last week. So the newspaper here is suggesting that everybody's going with 3-year fixed terms rather than variable. But that was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now because people are talking about rates coming down in June, people are going back to the variable. Even though a quarter point is not going to make a huge
It's opportunity cost.
All right.
So what are you getting for like a 3-year fix?
5.25.
5.25?
Probably a month ago, 4.99. It went up. The yields has gone up.
Mm-hmm. So just again, so I don't know if you heard that or not. So let's say last month a 3-year, 5 years,
3-year fix.
3-year fixed mortgages last month would have been like 4.9% or so. And because of the bond rates have gone up, today that same mortgage is 5.25. So see how things change even in like 3 or 4 weeks, right? So if you got a buyer that's out there and they're on the edge, make sure you get that pre-approval, right?
Just the rate holder.
All right, get the pre-approval for the rate hold. Toronto housing is now more expensive than New York City. Congratulations. Toronto, forever and ever and ever, Toronto wanted to be a world-class city. Congratulations. How do you like it?
But we're still cheaper than Vancouver, probably.
Vancouver, I don't know Vancouver. Good. All right, and then Caitlin's going now.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Mine's mostly on training and stuff like that, but who is at our training last week? Or not our calling workshop? I know we had a bunch of people. Yeah, so Mo here, he helped us last week. We did a fun, I would call it a workshop / experiment. We tested out a bunch of online leads. So if you didn't know, we run some leads as a brokerage just because, but we'd run buyer ads on Facebook and Instagram that are just saying like, hey, what's our receive a list of homes under X amount, or sometimes we've got some seller leads that are saying what's my house worth. But Last week we did a little bit of an experiment where we passed out a bunch of online leads that we've produced through those marketing efforts. There was about 1,082 leads. So anyone that's been considering online leads, paying for them, all of that, this may help make your decision, or if you're chasing, I don't know, that golden ticket for leads and thinking that that's the way to go. We did a nice little test. We passed out about 1,082 leads. About 40 agents were calling here. We all got on the phones. Everyone called about 20 to 40 leads each. We had about 5 appointments that were actually booked, like buyer appointments. I don't know. I know Mo went on one actually last week. It went really well. But we used some of Mo's scripts and stuff like that. We passed those out. I don't know where those scripts are, but anyways, we've got the scripts up here. But we got 5 appointments booked of those 1,082 leads. I'd say about 40-ish warm leads. Probably every single person got at least one warm-ish lead, not someone that was ready to book an appointment or anything, but someone that said, hey, yeah, I'm still thinking about buying or selling. Please keep me in mind. And I think maybe the most heartbreaking of them all was there were actually people on those lists that had already purchased or sold their home. So we know that the online leads work. They're definitely working, but I was thinking of an individual agent. If someone was to handle 1,000 leads, probably very, very hard for one person to maintain follow-ups with that many people. So our theory, I guess, said online leads work, but was it kind of worth the time? So that was really kind of like the whole fun of it all. Did you guys like it? Did anyone, I think you guys got like some good stuff out of it. It's good to have a list of people to call, but if you guys are chasing that business, of course, we always talk about database and talking to your sphere of influence, your past clients. That's at the end of the day where most of your business is going to come from. Mo even showed what he's been doing over the last couple of years. He's invested, I think it was $30,000 in online leads last year, made $60,000. But of all of his transactions, only 4 of his deals last year came from online leads, and the remaining, how many on there, maybe 15 to 20 deals came from his sphere of influence, past clients, and all of that. So if you're thinking about doing online leads, it's definitely something to think about, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost you a lot of time. So I think that you're better off spending that on your past clients and all of that, and then maybe 10% of your time on those chasing those online leads. So that was kind of a fun experiment. I think we're going to do it again, even though, I don't know. I don't believe in chasing these online leads, and I don't want anyone to rely their entire business on that. But I think we'll do another workshop again just to get people comfortable talking on the phone, seeing what the online lead behavior is, because again, they're just clicking on an ad. It's really just a list of contacts. So these aren't people that are like ready to buy today or anything like that. And I think that's where people get caught up in this online lead generation. They think someone put their contact information and they're ready to buy tomorrow. And that's just not the reality. These leads that we gave out were like 2020 leads. And those people were like just booking appointments. So that's kind of where Claire's even talked about. We've talked about how a lead takes about 12 months to nurture. And unfortunately, real estate agents don't have that type of patience in them. And we want today. So that's where those online leads actually end up not working for a lot of people. It's because they don't want to do that follow-up with them. So that was a fun experiment that we did. Do you have anything on that stuff?
So is anybody here using the online leads? Anybody here?
Agent locator, bold leads, any of that
Is
stuff?
anybody here doing agent locator here?
Or have? No.
No?
So no one's paying for it anyways.
No, okay.
There's lots of brokerages out there that will offer you leads, and I promise you that is literally what the leads are. They're just contact phone numbers and all that. It's not a client on a silver platter or anything like that. So if you guys get caught up when business is slow and you've got someone dangling leads in your brain, that's kind of where it is. And we've got leads too. So just come see us and maybe.
I still think it's a good idea for lead gen. If you want to do lead gen, I think it's still a good idea if you're wired that way.
Mhm.
If you're wired to use your CRM, if you're wired to follow up people, if you're wired to get on the phone for like 2-3 hours, and that's okay, then you're wired that way, then this is perfect for you. But if you're the type that can't sit down for 2-3 hours and prospect, or want things to happen right away, or looking for the now business, then it's not the right way. I suggested that some people, like, okay, most spend $30,000. We spend, for the leads that we have, I think I spend $200 a month for AdWords, and the web page itself might be another $200 to $250, $300, something like that. So $500, let's say. So if 2 or 3 agents were to do the same thing that we're doing and split that 1,000, leads, what are else, and they're not good leads, but they're
There's nuggets.
They're just nuggets, they're pillars. It's a pillar, right? It's a pillar, so it's one of many things. So if something you want to do, then there's agent locators, nothing wrong with that. Hook up with somebody else and 2 people, 3 people, maybe we can just, do a small little budget. I was told years ago by, is it Jack Black? No, it's a guy named
Jack
Jack
Miller.
Miller. Jack Miller said that, if you're gonna go in the online game business and and your budgets, he was giving me a hard time. If your budget's like $500, you're better off to buy $500 worth of coffee every day with your client than you would be to spend $500 on this program.
I would agree. Fair.
So in other words, you need to spend $30,000, not $500 to make something like this happen. So
Yeah.
that's sort of the direction.
Yeah, so if you don't want to spend the money on that, then you should be spending it on pop buys, client
But
gifts.
but
client
here's the
events.
point. But again, if you're an agent that's not prospecting, if you're an agent that's not doesn't have a pillar, let's say you're just waiting for people to contact you, then maybe it's not a bad pillar to have.
Yeah.
All right. So it really depends on the individual.
I just wouldn't spend 90% of your time doing it. Maybe 10. Anyway, on the topic of prospecting, what I've been passing out lately, someone dropped by with a list of prospecting activities for me. She like made this cute little, what did you call it? Like a notepad. So now when agents come into our office every day and they don't know what they're doing, now I have this nice little pad of paper of things for you guys to do. But anyways, I kind of, some of her stuff was good, but some of the stuff wasn't. But I'll probably email this out to you guys. If you guys are lost in your day-to-day business and you don't know exactly what to do, I've got this like little daily checklist that you guys can print off. We can maybe make it into notepads or whatever, but just different things that you guys can be doing. So like online prospecting, for example, every single day we should be, if you're on the social media platforms or maybe you want to get onto it, just simple things like engaging with 5 of your followers, just liking, sharing, commenting with like your friends and family, DMing 5 people. I know I tell people this all the time. This is how I got started in sales, was I used to DM 20 people a day on my Facebook page, just saying, hey, I'm in real estate. Do you know anyone looking to buy or sell? And it was a straight out flat like that. And that's how I was able to start my business. So I know the DMs work. So you can start off with just DMing 5 people every day, just going on there, sharing information, or even like Claire does. He shared with you guys just probably like 15 articles just now. You could take the articles that Claire's doing or the stats that Claire's doing and share those on your social platforms to like keep your audience up to date. Sharing a property, do polls and quizzes on your stories, send out newsletters. If the online stuff's not for you, there's some offline activities you can do every day, which is just reaching out to 5 people from your sphere via email, text message, phone calls, follow up with 5 leads. So if you're doing the online lead stuff, or maybe you did an open house on the weekend, or you've got some people that maybe did a home evaluation for, they haven't done anything, you can reach out to those people. Send out any thank you notes to anyone that maybe gave you a referral, ask for client testimonials. There's lots of stuff that we can be doing every day. So I'll email you guys this if you guys are just looking for something. But at the end of the day, our day or our daily goal should just be to book an appointment. And Mo talked all about this too, like those buyer leads, for example. I bet that anyone's working with buyer leads, they're going on our ads looking for a list of properties. And most agents would just say, great, I'll set you up on a prospect search and then hope that person reaches out to us when they see a property. And that's not the reality. So we were encouraging people to book that in-person buyer consultation with these people, to book that meeting, go over the buyer process, and then send them properties or then get them out. Whereas most, I'd say probably 99% of us would just set them up on a prospect search and hope that they want to go see something, right? And they talked all about that today. Maybe we can talk about that actually. We did Chris Leader this morning. We had a group of you guys there, and that was actually what his entire session was on today, was booking that buyer consultation. And how do you guys decide between who you're going to actually take out in the car and go see places? Because I'm sure we've got, your friend was scouring on realtor.ca and they saw a property, or their neighbor's house went up for sale and they want to go see it, right? And like deep down, you want to be like, no, this is a waste of time. Like this person's just shopping. So today we talked about how to make sure that we can qualify them properly. And he had 4 different ways to qualify the buyers. So first of all, seeing how serious they are. So will they meet you in person? So if you get on the phone with them, they want to purchase a property, can we get them to go meet us for coffee or meet us at the office or even just do a phone consultation and just ask more questions before you actually book those showings? Talk about the process, and then that's your opportunity to get a BRA signed, because legally we're not allowed to take people out on showings unless they have that, right? And that info guide that you guys have, we're not doing showings without that, right? No one's doing showings apparently. But anyways, that's a good opportunity for you guys to go over that guide, go over a BRA, go over like what they're looking for and all of that. Finances is the other one. Are we taking people out that haven't been pre-approved? So finding out how quickly they can move. If they see a house that they like today, are they ready to buy as well because they have the finances ready? Or can they not get approved, and can we set them up with more like creative financing through private lending and all that? So this is your opportunity to ask more about their financial situation. So the last thing you want to do is take people out shopping and then find out they don't have any money to buy a home, right? And I'm sure we've all got caught doing that before. The third thing is to see, are they committed? So are they actually willing to commit to you, sign a BRA with you, and work with you exclusively? And if they're not, then you may not want to go waste your time, right? They may be talking to multiple agents and just using you for your time as well. So it's really important to find out, are they willing to work with you, or are they going to be shopping around with listing agents and all of that? These are really good questions to ask. And are they motivated? So you shouldn't be driving around people. He was saying that he has A and B people. So find out, like, are they ready to buy in like the next 6 months, or are they those people that are like, oh yeah, we're not in a rush, which is the last thing a real estate agent wants to hear, is I'm not in a rush to sell or buy. So you decide. If I would say every day you should be focused on those people that are immediately looking to buy a home. Maybe they've got a baby on the way, there's a divorce, a death, a marriage, something happens that's motivating them to actually have a timeline. And then anyone that's doing that whole over just shopping around, then maybe you spend a little less time on them and you follow up with them every couple of weeks. So these are different things to just think about when you guys get those people that are reaching out to go shopping with you, because we're not just there to open a lockbox, even though that's what it feels like sometimes. Another couple tips that he was saying, if you guys are working with buyers, is not to choose the houses for people. And I've done this before, actually, early in my day, is where you send the clients houses to go take a look at, and it's nothing like what they want. You think that they like this house, and you're just trying to send them properties because you just want to go do showings because you just want to be in front of them. But sometimes that can actually work against you. So make sure when you're sending properties that the buyer is actually choosing those houses, because otherwise they're going to start to think that maybe you didn't listen to them properly and you're only sending them properties that have nothing to do with what they look at. Because I know sometimes we do that in the follow-up, they kind of drop for a couple of weeks and you're like, oh, maybe I should send them some houses to get them back on track. And then all of a sudden you're sending them brown kitchens when they only wanted white. And now they're like, she's not even listening to me anymore. So be careful when you guys are sending them properties. Make sure you send them a list for them to choose from when they go on those showings. Because I don't know, has anyone had that before, where you picked the house, booked the showing, and then like they hated it? And now they're probably in their car saying, my agent's not listening to me at all on what I'm looking for. Probably. No, just me. Okay.
I'm still waiting for that app there. Trump's supposed to have that app where you can look for white
Oh, yeah.
kitchens. And it's supposed to scan all the photographs and pick all the properties that have white kitchens.
Yeah. That would be nice to have.
Eh?
And then all of a sudden your client sends you a blue kitchen, and that was really what they wanted. So like that, you really do get caught up in sending them things because sometimes they change their mind. On that topic, if you guys don't have a buyer presentation, we have so many buyer tools, all this stuff on the Google Drive. This is actually Chris Leader's buyer presentation. So if you guys still don't have one, we have it on the Google Drive. So if you're meeting with people, this would be what you talk about with them. I think you can see it there, right? Yeah. So it's just got like, I think there's only 5 pages where you're talking about the process of buying a home, and you would just go to a coffee shop or do a Zoom, do a phone call, and you talk about, okay, how much can you afford? What's your credit? Have you done a mortgage qualification? Do you have a mortgage broker? No. Okay, here's my person, setting them up with your people, and then talk about really like making an offer and like what that home buying process looks like. This is a really quick one. We also have buyer guides. There's so many things out there. So you guys should all have a buyer presentation ready. So we talk a lot about the listing presentation, but you should also have one for the buyers as well. Speaking of listing presentation, I'm sure you guys have seen it. We now have that 1-page listing presentation for you. So if you're little chickens and don't want to whip up a PowerPoint presentation, and maybe you're just quickly, maybe it's a friend, family, past client, and the presentation's a little more less formal, which happens a lot, where you're not comfortable sitting down and doing a full presentation. So what I did instead is I made it all on 1 page. So if you guys are just bringing one piece of paper, as long as you've got the presentation in front of you, these are all of the slides that are actually on a presentation. So just make sure when you're at the listing presentation that you're just going through all of these different questions with them. So if you're trying to keep it informal, then at least you're saying, okay, what are our goals today? Talk a little bit about yourself and what you're going to do. Talk about your brokerage, what the admin girls do for you guys, what your main role is, and like marketing the property, talking to agents, negotiating, talking even about things such as Claire, like talking about the legal process. If you get sued, you've got a legal team behind you. And then of course, you're going to talk about the house, what things they can do to the house, pricing the home, and then getting the contract signed. So if you guys are trying to get away from that listing presentation, at least have this in mind. So at least you've got kind of a flow in your brain and you can kind of keep the conversation going. So it's not just this awkward pause of, this is what your house is worth. Will you sign? And then all of a sudden you find out you're competing with another broker and have nothing in front of you. And this will help you out a lot. So that's on the Google Drive as well. What else do I got? You gave me some new stuff today. So we are switching. Okay, we'll just talk about Realm. You guys are switching to Realm in July. I'm sure none of us are, well, there's some of us that are practicing for it, but
So it's funny, the agent's not here right now, but somebody asked me to start teaching them how to use Stratus and how to do safe searches. I'm thinking, why are we even talking about Stratus? We should be doing Realm.
yeah, apparently they're not teaching. So I've got 3 new agents in here. They're not teaching you guys even how to use Stratus at the new sessions. You have to do mandatory classes now out of school. And I think, Lydia, you told me that, right? They're only teaching Matrix and Realm. So they're not even teaching Stratus anymore at the school level. We're even stuck on Stratus right now too. So we're gonna have to start to learn it, but they switched it to July 30th is when apparently it's officially replacing it. But they have all these really good online courses that you guys can take through Treb. So if you guys are trying to get into it, I would dive into these courses. It says coming in May, so a couple of weeks from now. But it's just like talking about getting started with Realm, the CMA, the mobile device. If you don't have Realm on your phone, you should. It's actually a really good app. Is anyone using it on their phones? Yeah. If you guys are using like House Sigma and stuff like that, I like Realm actually better. Sometimes I will use House Sigma. It will let you log in with your face. If it doesn't let me log in with my face, I go to House Sigma. It's really bad, but you can get as much information on the Realm app now. So if you're with your clients, definitely download it. You can book showings on it through your phone. There's a lot you can do. And then obviously you're going to use your desktop for doing a CMA and all that stuff. But the Realm app's really great. They have courses on it. So if you're scared to do it, they will have courses on that. What else is there? Land registry.
I think most courses are talking about here a webinar, but I think they have in-house classes now too for those people that prefer to have a hands-on type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is webinar here, but sometimes Treb charges for the in-person classes, but probably worth it. We'll do some training in the office too. I won't do it until July, to be honest, because I know they're probably going to cancel it July 29th anyway. So I'd prefer to teach you guys in July when I know we have to change, because I know if I teach you now, we're just going to forget about it in July and then we're going to have to do it all over again, which is what happened. When were we supposed to switch? Like December.
January.
So we did full Realm training with Irene. We did a whole bunch of training here and then that got kiboshed. So we're going to wait for July to do the in-house training here. And then the last
How many people here have switched over to Realm now? Is show of hands? Just one?
fully switched, eh?
Just,
Back.
and
Yeah, back and forth.
so two people, and show of hands, those people still using Stratus? That was just, I want to see if people still awake. That's
I'm still using Stratus myself. I can use Realm if I'm training a new agent, but
I use
Stratus is
Realm,
nice.
but then I get stuck and I go to Stratus.
yeah. I think they should just keep Stratus.
Like the whole listing. in Realm. Like I use Realm, but anytime I want to print anything for anyone, I'm going to go to Strings and print it. Like it's.
There is a way, like you can print from, it's long.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why they put it on like 2 or 3 pages now because it is long. I think there's a way. There's a client sheet that you can print, and I think that's 1 page.
1 page, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to the options, you go to, I think it's a broker sheet, I think it's called, and then it'll be, that's the same look as the Stratus.
Yeah. It's the same stuff. It just everything's so different. So if you're used to Stratus, it just takes some time to adjust your eyeballs, but otherwise it's the same stuff. In fact, Realm actually has way more stuff on it. So it's better.
The biggest problem with Realm, just remember this, the biggest issue, and hopefully they'll change it, but on Realm, sorry, Stratus, if you look for like a 3-bedroom, 3 washroom, it's gonna give you anything that's 3 or 4 or 5. It's gonna give you 3 and above. If you ask Realm for a 3-bedroom, it's gonna give you 3 bedrooms. It's not gonna give you 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Same
very
as the, same
specific.
as the washrooms. Washrooms, if you ask for 2 washrooms on Realm, it's gonna give you 2 washrooms. It's not gonna give you 3 or 4. On Stratus, you ask for 2 washrooms, it's gonna give you 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
So you gotta remember that. So that's a bit of a quirky thing going on there.
They may change that. Who knows? I know they updated the map layers. I don't know if anyone uses map layers to like look at CO1, C10, all that stuff. That's now on Realm, which I'm really happy about. And the pin, the location pin. These are some things that I use, but I don't
And
know
then
if
the other
anyone
part
does.
that probably affect you mostly would be your prospect searches. Who uses prospect searches in Stratus?
Hopefully everybody.
So in Realm, it's completely different. In Realm, you gotta create a contact name first, and then you add the search to the contact, and then you add this, then you go from there. So you start off with the contact, and then add the search to the contact.
Or you can do a saved search and have the contact's email on it. If they don't,
can save
if
search.
they don't want to
That's right.
subscribe.
You save search to the contact. So that part's a little weird.
Trev
So-
sent out something, I think, a couple weeks ago. If you guys want to transfer your Stratus people, it has like a step-by-step thing on how to transfer your Stratus ones over to Realm. I don't even know if my clients are getting it, to be honest. I have to double check because they're all still on Stratus, but
Has anybody, just on that, has anybody done that yet? Has anybody transferred your prospect searches over to Realm?
okay, let's do that before July.
So you can do it, so you can do it bulk, okay? You can do it bulk, but after you've done it, you still have to add them to your contact. So it doesn't, all it does is save the search. It doesn't save the search for that contact. So it's a little different.
I had an issue on my Stratus last week where I have to filter for ensuite laundry and it stopped sending.
Oh, yeah,
So anyone who's still using Stratus should really just make sure they
very
check
detailed.
their prospect. So my clients stop getting emails.
Good to know.
Ensuite laundry.
Ensuite
So,
laundry,
I don't know,
okay.
it's just a weird field. I think they added another field to it and that's why they created a completely new field.
Mm.
And I mean, I'm sorry, but Trev isn't. I don't know. They came with all those weird things. They join these other boards. I don't know when the other boards are going to join us, right? But the other boards have mandatory fields for water stuff, like deeded, not deeded, waterfront, all that kind of stuff. And they made that mandatory fields on Trev. But on your data sheets, there's no reference on the data sheets to the fields that are mandatory. It's bizarre.
Bizarre. Okay, last new thing that's coming up. You guys get an email from us every Thursday reminding you guys to put your open houses up, right? I know some people miss it. But I guess now there's a new tool that's coming next week, probably this week. Prop Tech Open House is what it's called. It's replacing the current open house management. So the Manage My Profile, it's going to change a little bit. So now you can actually update your open house through the Treb homepage, which I don't know where that will be, but I'm sure it's a button. Manage My Profile and on the ad edit now. Does that mean it's going? Yeah, it's going to realtor.ca through the ad edit now. Okay, but also the girls downstairs can also now upload it before we can't go into your Manage My Profile. You have to do that yourself if you want your open house to show up on realtor.ca. So just because it's on Stratus doesn't mean that it's going out there for the public. It's just for the realtors to see. But apparently starting, I think this week, now the admin can actually do the ad edit for you. So I don't know if we're going to change our activity report maybe, where the girls can just do it. But either way, you guys are able to do
Yeah,
it.
you
So
do it yourself, but you get stuck, we can help.
if you get stuck. Perfect. So that's there. I think that's all. Did you want to do something with these? Yes.
Just to remind you here, so I get the stuff in my house, my farming material, right? So just remind you guys, has anybody considered doing a farm yet, or has started a farm yet, or wants to start a farm, or should start a farm, or?
And farming doesn't mean like you're gonna start like milking cows or anything, guys. Like we're not, we're just putting seeds out to your
So
neighborhood.
it's a pillar out there too, and I think it's a strong pillar. I think if you guys look at any, I don't know, just someone give me a name, give me somebody, show a name of a realtor that's famous.
They're fans.
Another agent.
Morale had
Sam
one.
of Daddy.
Hmm?
Daddy, video.
I don't know.
Why do you know those names?
The McDaddy's there. McDaddy's more West End, right? So East End
Do you
guys.
see their flyers pop up in your mail? Yeah.
All right, so I would suggest that if you know a famous agent, they're sending this stuff out to their farm area every week or every couple weeks or once a month. So if you ever, I don't know, one thing about real estate, right? The answer is right there. Just copy them. I mean, if you want to be Frank Leo, copy him. Just start running some ads and I mean, you have to have $1 million budget, but you didn't start off $1 million. You started off with with everybody else with $100. So part of the pillar, we're talking about pillar. So pillar could be internet leads. Pillar could be farming area. And I've suggested that it doesn't have to be like, okay, Shiv and these guys, this guy and Shiv, these guys, you'll probably send out 20,000, 30,000 flyers every couple weeks. Big number, right? But I'm not saying that. I'm saying you find a farm area that has maybe 400, 500, 600 people in it. One of these urban townhouses that we're talking about, maybe take an urban town complex and try to be the specialist in that urban town complex. Right? And just do little flyers and just fire them off to the complex once a month. Just another pillar. Something to follow up, something to talk about, right?
And a lot of people say they throw them out, but I've been to a seller's table where they will have this flyer of that agent in their area so that when that time is coming, when they have to sell their house, now they're going to start collecting these and putting them aside versus if they're not thinking about it, obviously they're just going to chuck it in the recycling. But when that day does come that they're looking to buy or sell, then they're gonna save it. And then those are gonna be the agents that they might call. I just realized that Varan's on this one. Do you know this one? No? I think this
You're paying for it.
I think this is from what's this company? Because we did this one too.
It's a market intelligence or something, huh?
Mission Response. So there's a company out there called Mission Response, and they have an agent per postal code. And they will mail it out. So you just tell them the postal code, they'll put your face on it, and they will actually mail out to that neighborhood watch. So if you just want a very tiny little one and not a big one, you can look up Mission Response. Brand's a high sponsor of this one, so maybe that takes the cost off of it. Griffiths is also on there, so very interesting. Good to know. So Brand is also farming. He just doesn't know about it.
So this is from Mission Response, and this is a cookie cutter template, and all they do is they put the agent's picture on here, and otherwise it's the same as every other newsletter. So they've got
Yeah, it's like
they might have 100 different clients, and they just put the client's name on there and they mail it through AdWords or whatever. So it's a simple thing.
Yeah.
But I don't find this very effective.
We did it for a year and we didn't see anything from it. But again, I think you got to do it for more than a year. I think you have to keep doing it to see the response. A lot of agents will just do one postcard and then get no calls and then they never do it again. But the whole beauty of farming is literally consistently showing up.
So just talking, this one here is giving lots of stats, lots of data, lots of things, like lots of information. This one here says, call me for this and call me for that and show me this and show me that. So this one here is, in my mind, is more effective than this.
When you go to his QR code, it just brings them to his calendar to book an appointment with him. So it's not a home evaluation or anything. It's just his Calendly. Cool. Okay,
So that's another pill to think about.
perfect. So we did online leads today, some farming, some other checklists. You guys have lots of things. We have 3 new agents here today. Do you guys want to stand up and introduce yourselves? I can see 3. I'm going to embarrass you guys and make you stand up and introduce yourselves because I have 3 of them here. You guys want to introduce your names?
My name is Amy Ferguson. I'm coming from commercial real estate. So this is my first update in service.
Good for you. No, you're making everybody embarrassed.
No, I've never done that. I'm making you stand. I never embarrassed everyone. Lydia got off this one.
I may have done that. I graduated from TMU last year, the film studies program. I realized that was not for me. So I got into real estate and I'm excited to get started.
Good for you, man.
All right, and my name is Kata. I'm joining Percy Fulton. I was an agent at HA before. I'm here to work for my dad in real estate.
Well, second gen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your name? Sasha.
Anybody have any problems you want to talk about before we wrap up? No?
I got a 2-bedroom that's not really good, but downtown Waterworks building, 505 Richmond. And it's right at Adelaide and Grant Street. A 6-year-old building. It's gonna have its own food hall, European style, it's really cool. YMCA. It's tucked in a nice quiet area of downtown, but still walking distance to restaurants, bars. Again, address is 505 Richmond. We're probably gonna be doing a price change shortly, but right now the inventory in that building is very low. So if anyone has any interest in the Waterworks building downtown, feel free to let me know.
What's the price?
What's the intersection?
That's Adelaide and Brent. Yeah. So
Adelaide.
right now it's
Price
listed at 900,000. It's a 2-bedroom.
What's a bigger street, Adelaide and?
Brent.
Brand.
How about a bigger
What's
street?
the line?
What's a bigger street?
Brand's
I guess, well, yeah.
Young Street, Adelaide and Young,
Bathurst.
Bathurst?
Yeah.
How many square feet was it?
737.
What was the price on?
900.
Mm.
Yeah. The bigger units are going for $1 million plus.
This must be a special building for sure.
It's it's a pretty cool building.
That's low.
It's a mid rent.
Did you sell that one yet? Or they rented it out? The worst building in the city?
Got morale?
I have a 2-bedroom as well downtown. I have one for rent, one for sale. The rental is at 825 Church. Super stand. 3,800. Then I have a 2-bedroom with condos. 1.5 million. We had offered to do that, but we're looking to get. That's
It should be.
I also look at my friends. I have 2 listings, 2 condos. Express condo, which is by the Western Subway Station. We will be changing the price pretty soon. 1 bedroom, no parking. Market. The price will change by maybe 30-40,000. And another one is in Sun condos by there's a subway station of the company. Katelyn Fulton, yeah, the subway station there. By the subway station, really good condo, 1+1, 2 bathrooms, no parking. That price will change too. So the same owner, by the way, of 2 bathrooms. So he lives in one, and the other one is by the so either one can be sold, and then and there's another listing. Once if you sell today or tomorrow, then I will share the address with you in Mississauga. 3-bedroom updated nice area, and also motivated seller. So follow up with the listings, and or you can contact me directly. Very motivated, both sellers. So we can hopefully we sell it within our own company. Otherwise, it is to the MLS anyway. Very much. Especially for either.
So condos.
Just,
Condos.
just one final thing. Does anybody get involved with assignment sales? Like what's going on in that world? Does anybody have any clients that they're trying to get rid of it or?
Well, yeah,
Does anybody have any success getting rid of them?
I had one. We got too much purchase price, so still lose out on sub fees. But that one was actually in Toronto.
So they actually sold it then?
We sold it,
So
yeah.
somebody bought the paper, but
Yeah,
did they, and your client lost his, legal fees?
you're gonna lose the legal fee, assignment fee.
Assignment
Not the
fee?
head.
King Toronto.
King Toronto, yeah.
You couldn't lose this one?
That's the one at the King's Banana.
Where'd you find the buyer?
I actually had to find an agent, because couldn't promote it, couldn't list it.
Yeah,
couldn't
exactly.
Post anything, so I just went through a bunch of King Toronto posts on Facebook, looked for agents who were promoting it, called all those agents and said, hey, you have still buyers? Because, and that's where I found an agent to work with.
Perfect. It's a little bit of a hustle for those ones.
So everybody hear that? So Curtis had a Simon cell he's trying to sell, so he looked at Facebook and other places for other agents that are advertising the same building and said, look, I've got one too. Did you get a buyer? And then he actually found an agent that did have a buyer, so
Perfect.
good for you. Anybody else? No, I thought it would be flooded with those for some reason, but I thought the pre-construction guys would just try to get rid of these things. But
I feel like there's a ton. It's just hard to advertise them, so no one knows about them all. There's probably way more than you know.
Facebook groups, it's still quite a bit.
Ton.
They're all like losing on purchase price.
Yeah.
but
Crazy. The builder should let them advertise.
It's still moving. Like, I just came from an event for a Hamilton project.
Mm.
They're actually doing one price for each unit type. So it doesn't matter the square footage of the one bedroom. If it's one bedroom, you pay one price. Doesn't matter what floor, what size of one bedroom. If it's one bedroom, one price. That's in Hamilton. So Hamilton's got a lot of projects coming up by Emblem. It's called Design District.
good. Anybody else? Okay, so next week we have our awards event, so no meeting here, so hopefully you'll all join us for that. Hopefully you're gonna RSP Ginny here and make sure that
Open bar.
they're waiting for it.
Okay.
Okay,
You.
see you all.
Enough time to get that.